It seems that every day more and more Miami Medicare fraud defendants are sentenced in federal court. The Miami Herald publishes a repetitive article regarding the ongoing indictments, pleas and sentencing hearings surrounding the Medicare fraud. Alcides Garcia, who was indicted several months ago, fled to the United States to avoid being prosecuted for Medicare fraud. While he was free on bail, he fled South Florida. At his initial bond hearing, a federal magistrate accepted a $200,000 bond to assure his presence in court. Today we spoke with Garcia regarding his experience with Medicare fraud. Please, Mr. Garcia, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Alcides Garcia. I am from Pembroke Pines. I was the former president of Hialeah, Florida, medical equipment company, and this is my white-collar crime.
How old were you when you were convicted of the Medicare fraud? What was your motive behind it?
I was 44 years old when I committed my crime, and with my 8-year sentencing I look back to those days when I could have re-evaluated what I was doing. It was not the greed that got me to scheme my way to the big league, it was more of the opportunity to make a lot of money and with the slim possibility of getting caught.
Where did you believe you went wrong?
If I made it to Cuba, there would have been no way they would have gotten me. Due to the USA/Cuba relations being not so good, the government of Cuba would not have given their native-born citizen up to the United States. So I fled Florida on September 17, 2008 to Mexico just 12 days before my federal trial was to start in Miami. I knew the risks of fleeing and I outweighed the benefits even if I was on a $200,000 bond. After Mexico I went to Spain, and unfortunately my ride ended in the Canary Islands.
Did you fall short in executing your plan anywhere else?
Not really thinking everything through all the way. When I was in the Canary Islands I went to a shipping company owner because I needed to move my belongings from Miami. Yes, I am a native of Cuba, but I tried to play off my fake Mexican passport that I have been using. To be honest, I had no idea the shipping company owner would grow suspicious because I felt my Mexican accent was decently good enough, but hey, look where I am now.
Now I would just like to ask you some more questions if you don't mind. We really want to get everyone informed on this a little more. Would you like to get some fresh air outside?
Yes, please, that sounds great. I am more than willing to tell you anything you need to know.
Where did you go from there?
After that I checked into a hotel in the capital city a little later using my real name with my false Mexican passport. I suppose after I left the owner she googled my name, which led to pictures on the internet relating to the FBI and my status. As soon as the owner confirmed the photo was me and saw how I was wanted for charges, she called the FBI in Miami.
It seems as though you let the pressure of escaping the US get to you with all of these slips. When did you get caught?
Well, from there the Spanish National Police did a background check and arrested me on provisional FBI warrant in mid-March. It seemed like a dream because the slight chance I thought I would ever get caught was so small it was never in the back of my head until now. I was then flown to Miami to face my charges.
What was your sentence?
The federal healthcare program paid $2.2 million to my medical equipment business before my initial arrest last June. I plead guilty to one count of defrauding Medicare from 2002 to 2004, and was given my 8-year sentencing. There are dozens of Cuban immigrants who evade prosecution by fleeing back to our country, and I guess this was my time. I lied, I stole and did things no other else is capable of. Because white-collar crimes need the relationship of a trusted business and the monetary incentives. If I could go back and change what I did, you bet your ass I would not have gotten caught.
Now that we have gotten the inside scoop from a criminal's mind, let us look at the people who contributed to putting him behind bars. First we have the business owner, who detected the false accent Garcia was attempting to portray. Second, you will hear from an FBI spokesperson by the name of Judy Arriola. Please tell us about your encounter with Alcides Garcia.
When Garcia came to me and told me that he was from Mexico, I began to think about his accent and how it sounded Cuban and not Mexican. This seemed very suspicious to me. I wasn't planning on doing anything serious like calling the FBI until I decided to Google his name and found the story about a Cuban-born fugitive that was wanted to Florida. I put two and two together and realized that this man wanted to ship his belongings because he was fleeing. I decided to take action and do something about what I found. I called the FBI in Miami. Garcia was caught.
There are a number of healthcare fraud defendants from Cuba, and after they commit their crimes many of them return home. Once they're in Cuba, it's very difficult for us to get them back, unless they return. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand the rights I have just read to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me? Alcides Garcia is being charged with submitting $10.7 million in false claims for powered air mattresses, feeding pumps and other medical equipment. I mean, this guy was getting away with making over $1 million in Medicare payments for 2 years from 2002 to 2004. This guy is a professional and it is scary that he was able to do this for that long. We have to stop allowing these immigrants to be able to go back to their home country to evade prosecution. People are getting away with lots of crimes by just fleeing home. This has to be stopped. We were finally able to track him down because a shipping owner called us and said that there was a suspicious man down here who was pretending to be Mexican. The reason the business owner became suspicious because he kept saying he was Mexican, but the owner detected he had a heavy Cuban accent. She realized he was a criminal when she saw the pictures we put up on the internet. Thank God for this shipping lady, because without her, he could have easily vanished away from this crime. This is a white-collar crime easily because it is not a victimless crime. It destroyed families from stealing medical equipment. They stole millions of dollars from people, and it really devastated families. It was a crime through a business. It is through a person whom people trusted. The Senate has now come up with a plan to stop these types of crimes from happening by making the Healthcare Fraud Enforcement Act. This will be used to enhance the government's tools to investigate and fix Medicare fraud. The problem with white-collar crime is that cases are usually ignored due to the case that the FBI rather focuses on terrorism than white-collar crime. It isn't because we have a lack of resources, because number of criminals has risen to 13,812 this year than from 11,097 in 2001. By having criminals escape to different countries make it even harder for us to follow through with finishing these investigations. It is either do we truly care enough to find them when we have more important issues to deal with, or that they are truly too tough to track down that we stop pursuit of the suspect. White-collar crime is very tough to figure out because it is the most trusted individuals who do these crimes that you don't suspect it from them. It makes our job even harder.
I know I was wrong in this situation. And like I said, I would easily go back and change my actions. I wasn't smart with the decisions I made and I wouldn't do them again.
Yes, but this was a mistake you made, and now you are going to pay for it by spending your time in jail. It's a shame we can't catch more people doing things like this because it obviously happens a lot and gets overlooked.
I can just hope that more business owners will be careful in what they see going on. It would make it a lot harder for these criminals to do things like this.
Yes, absolutely. Every company needs to be aware of what is going on and keep track of money and inventory. This is crucial. Remember, if you see something, say something. Thank you everyone for your time here today. It was interesting hearing the inside story. Alcides, we appreciate your time and wish you luck once you finish your sentence.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
A special thanks to all of our actors today: